In the teens, 20s, and 30s, the Germans were devising this form follows function concept of universal space, exposing the frame of the building and developing that kind of an architectural expression. And really, while they were philosophizing about it, Albert Kahn was quietly building it.
I give Albert Kahn almost as much credit as Henry Ford for the mass production of the automobile, because if there wasn't a building design like this one with wide open spaces that could allow for an assembly line to be making cars, then buildings before this couldn't do that. So this was groundbreaking, not just in the fact that the assembly line was here, but that it was a building that could handle the assembly line and allow for the assembly line to mass produce the automobile. And so it was Albert Kahn and Henry Ford together that really put the world on wheels.
Here's how they put them together at the Highland Park plant.
I think he looked at the client's needs and the technology of the time and integrated that into a successful solution. How can we build buildings that have a large floor plate, lots of open space, minimize the number of columns?
A car comes off the end of the line every 10 seconds.
Albert Kahn, together with his brothers, developed the system of the concrete construction of the automobile plants with the wide open floor plates and the concrete columns, leaving the exterior walls to be completely open, filled in with glass, which 1903, that was very, very radical. And it allowed the auto industries to have these very large factories to hold the weight of many, many automobiles. It set the pace for how we look at modern architecture.
People like Le Corbusier, Walter Gropius, they all wanted to see what these new modern factories were like, and then it very much influenced their own work.
We see them then going back to Europe, taking this tenets and developing it into modernism. The idea of clean, open floor plates, the idea of concrete construction or steel construction, the idea of curtain walls. This had already been done here in Michigan.
The buildings that Kahn designed made a difference in the way that Henry Ford made cars.
He also saw architecture in a way of craftsmanship and American craft, and in fact designed the Fisher Building.
The Fisher Building is one of the most jaw-dropping buildings in all of Detroit, and honestly, in all of the United States.
The Fisher Building sort of advanced the American Tower. They bring the artist into the process of construction of the building. Many of the works of Kahn include artwork and sculpture, great grillages and handrails and guardrails, bronze work. And that certainly was something that Detroit contributed to.
It literally is the beacon for this new center area. We're only just about 3 miles from downtown, but this was where General Motors built its empire. Right across the street from the Fisher Building, we have the original General Motors headquarters, and then the Fisher brothers built this absolute beauty right here in 1928.
And many of Kahn's options for the Fisher Building were published at their time. The Empire State Building was built a couple years after the Fisher Building, and a very similar stepping form, use of stone. You can look at the detailing, you can look at the massing, and we have sketches of several of the options that Albert Kahn devised for the Fisher Building. Very similar to what was done with the Empire State Building.